episode of my inspirational series, the series that I hope that I can inspire you in your life and in everything you're doing in the best way that I can. And how am I going to do that? I'm doing that through my writings. That they're channeled writings, so you know they're kind of something that I feel have an extra kind of soulful element to them. And I hope today, or I hope as part of this series, I can get you to tap into that aspect of yourself and to begin to kind of see things maybe from a different standpoint or whatever. But, you know, just to say thanks masses for joining me. If you're new to the series, don't forget to subscribe right now and make sure you don't miss out on some of the other episodes that I'm going to be bringing out. And also, if you haven't watched any of the previous ones, please do, because I think what we're doing with this series, or what I'm doing with this series, is kind of taking you along a journey with me. So if you don't watch them, you might miss out on some of the information that I've shared already. But you know, it's wonderful for you to join me. And those of you who are already watching this particular series, thanks for joining me again. And yeah, I hope that you're evolving as someone who's watching or listening to what I'm sharing. I hope you're evolving as a person, and that, you know, what I share can help you in your life in some way, and you know, just really push you in a more positive direction. And that's essentially what I hope I can achieve. And it's always valuable to have the presence of others and sharing knowledge and wisdom with other people. You don't know how it's going to affect them, and you know, I don't know, but all I know is that I've been given the opportunity to do a lot of channeled writing, and I love to share that material beyond just myself. Or one of the things I spoke about in my very earlier videos in the earlier part of the series was feeling now that it was an important step for me to kind of take myself into a new audience, or bring my material into a new audience, an audience that may not be particularly interested in reading books, but like to watch or like to listen. And I hope you don't mind watching me and listening to me. Yeah, it's a step in a new direction for me to actually be doing this, and to kind of, I don't know, to kind of put myself out there, because when you're writing, you're kind of getting things across to people, and you don't know necessarily how they will view what you say. There are elements in my story that, you know, some people might find very different, and they might not, they might read it and have preconceived ideas about who I am or how I came to be writing in this way. So this is just an opportunity to say, don't have any preconceived ideas, just get to know me. And it's a good thing for me, I think, anyway, as well, to be kind of opening myself up to speaking to others. I guess it is a kind of one-on-one type thing, because it's just me. Oh, if you kind of like what I'm doing, you can also check out my Mum and Son series, where me and my son basically talk about inspirational stuff, but having him there, we were basically able to bounce things off each other and ideas off each other, and it's got more of a fun element to it. So definitely check it out, and yeah, subscribe to that as well if you like. We've done a lot as part of the series, so we will be bringing out more in terms of, you know, sharing more on that as a kind of a duo. But this series is really for me to be honest. I'll be honest with you. If I hadn't done the Mum and Son series, I don't think I would have been able to actually get this series started off, because as I said, I'm kind of a shy kind of writer, but yeah, it gave me even the kind of the long-term view and vision to say I can take that step in a new direction with you know, having an audience, talking to people, opening myself up, and sharing more of my work, which I feel is important for me as a person. But you know why I feel it's important is because I want this work to be shared so that it can help you, that it can support you, and that it can sort of enhance your life in a way that maybe, I don't know, you may not necessarily feel you need it, or you may not necessarily feel you want it. But I hope, regardless of what you feel, if you're watching, and if you feel you do want it, then fantastic. But, you know, regardless of what you feel, I hope it's inspiring and powerful stuff to share. And so where did I come up with all this stuff? As I said, I do a lot of channeled writing. So that's where the origin of everything I do and everything I talk about comes from. If it hadn't been for that, would I be able to be sitting in front of you and sharing all this wisdom and knowledge? No, I doubt it, because I don't really know where it has come from, except I feel it's come from a very soulful place. And, you know, that connection I have and that soulful element, I think I have maybe the wisdom, a universal sense of wisdom that comes through to me, and I pen that down. And yeah, it's a great thing to do. But I felt what I've been doing all along is kind of keeping a lot of it very much to myself. And, you know, I haven't published as much of the work as I should have. But that's really been due to time constraints and having to do other things in my life. But now is a new chapter for me this year. So in that respect, I'm saying, yes, I'm writing, and I'm aiming to bring out more books, etc. But I'm also aiming to share this material to help you in whichever way I can. Oh my gosh, I've rattled on enough and it's already 8 minutes gone. Please forgive me. I'm always asking for that, aren't I? Please forgive me. But yeah, I'm sorry if this is a quick dip in and out thing. As I said, fast forward or feel free to watch it in bits. But I can't help sharing some of these things because I think it's who I am. So it's hard for me to sort of cut out pieces of my writing experience and relate it to the things I'm talking to you about if I just discount all that aspect of my, you know, my writing sort of ability and how that evolved and came. Naturally, as you get to know me more, I'll be revealing more and more of my story. So a lot of what you hear will make sense in the end. And I'm sure by the end of the series, you should know me pretty well. And I hope I can get to know you in some way, shape or form if you leave your comments and things like that. But by all means, thanks so much for being with me today and supporting me. Your viewing this is a really great form of support for me. And, you know, if you subscribe, that's fantastic too. So, hey, let's begin. Okay, so the passage that I'm going to read you today is called, or I've called it, Through Leadership. It never really has a title. You know, when I do these writings, they don't come with titles, but I just gave it a title, because I've added it as like a picture quote for the soul type of series that I'm doing. So hopefully, yeah, it will give you a little inkling into what this is going to be about. And this is what the passage says. It says, through leadership, I take into consideration not just my wishes, but the thoughts and wishes of others too. And I can repeat it if you like. Through leadership, I take into consideration not just my wishes, but the thoughts and wishes of others too. And what I feel this passage is talking about, obviously, it's talking about leadership. And at some point in our lives, we will have to step up and be a leader in some way, shape or form. I know some of us are absolutely born leaders and some of us are not born leaders. And, you know, this is an important thing, because when it comes to leadership, you may be forced into a position of leadership that you actually didn't want to take on. Or you may be, yeah, I want to be a leader, you know, and it doesn't matter which type of leader you are. What this passage is trying to remind us is that leadership is not always about what you want. And the best leaders, I think what the passage is trying to share with us is that the best leaders are those that take into consideration others, as well as you, the person who is stepping up into that leadership role or that leadership position. Regardless of where it is, it may be you might have to become a leader in your work. You might have to become a leader in your family. You might have to become a leader amongst your, you know, your colleagues, or, you know, if you play sport, for example. I mean, I love sport. Believe it or not, I love football. So when you know, say like, even if it's a team of footballers, one of them will emerge more so than others, or one of them will be asked to be a leader or a captain. And I find with leadership is, if you become a leader that becomes, you know, just about just you and what you want to achieve as a leader, that's not to say that, you know, you shouldn't sort of lead in a way that you will get others to kind of follow your goals, your directions, your ambitions, and, you know, lead in a way that you are the forefront figure or the main person leading. It doesn't mean that that is necessarily a bad thing, but this is just a reminder that regardless of who you are as a leader, don't always feel that, you know, everything has to be done through you and in your kind of image. You've also got to take into consideration others. You've also got to take into, you know, into the fact that other people can be a powerful contributing factor in the choices and decisions you're going to make as a leader. Don't see, you know, yourself as being weak. If you do sort of speak to other people, you do get their opinions. What your role as a leader will be is to take all of that into consideration, and maybe fine, you'll have the final say, but you've had the final say, not bulldozing your way, you know, to kind of lead and, you know, crushing everybody, you know, that's kind of by your side. You're taking into consideration what they have to say or their needs as you evolve into a leader, and then you can also take on board choices and decisions that, fine, may be in the interest of all, but it will also encompass the thoughts, the wishes, or the, you know, the consideration, let's put it that way, shall we? The consideration of others, because this says the thoughts and wishes of others, but I would probably kind of say their thoughts, their wishes, and their consideration in whichever way you feel it is important. And I tell you what, you know, I mean, I think the worst leaders, like the dictatorish type of leaders, are people that, you know, bulldoze their way through, steamroll their way. And I don't actually think it makes for good leadership in terms of being that way. And leadership is a strange thing, because if you even consider, if you're a mom, or, you know, or a dad, or, you know, if you're an elder sibling or something like that, you kind of naturally have to take on board leadership qualities and roles. But, you know, if you're one of those parents who speak down to your children, don't listen to them, you know, it never bodes well. If you're in a group of friends and you're always the one kind of leading them, but, you know, not caring about others, as you kind of evolve as a leader, then it just never bodes well. It always backfires, and you could have, people saying, you know what, I don't believe in what you're saying. You never listen to me. You never take into account what I want, what I want, or you never listen. And in that respect, leadership falls by the wayside. And I feel that I'm not someone that likes to do a lot of leadership, but if I do, I kind of try to do it in an accommodating way as best I can. I'm not sure, you know, tell me, what kind of leader are you? What sort of leadership qualities, you know, do you agree with what this passage is kind of asking us to consider or do? Do you feel as a leader you need to take the reins and not in any way, shape or form necessarily incorporate the thoughts and the wishes of others? Or do you agree that, you know, leadership is, oh God, I mean, I was just about to say this kind of a self-thought, but, you know, in terms of leadership, I always believe it is important. I always feel that someone does need to step up in some way and lead in most cases. You know, I know some people will say, like, I don't like that kind of thing. I prefer that everybody works together and leads, and that is also a good thing if you can make it work. But inevitably, I don't know, I found times like this when you're all kind of banding together, sometimes decisions just can't be made because no one can agree on it. And I'll tell you why I'm talking about this. And I don't know, maybe some of you will experience this in terms of a family sense, where a group of siblings are trying to come to an agreement on something, and, you know, trying to work together and make a decision, and some don't want to do something, others do, and you're just, you know, it never happens. So even amongst siblings, sometimes you kind of have to take a leadership role, or someone, even if you're going to rotate it, that's not a bad thing, where you say, okay, someone will be the leader for now, and then, you know, in a few months time or whatever, we'll rotate it and someone else have a go. Fine, that's fair. You know, and if you can get this kind of concept to work, then fantastic. But inevitably, sometimes when there's too many, as they say, too many cooks spoil the broth. That's what they say here. So, you know, if there's too many people trying to lead, or too many people trying to, you know, sometimes you're gonna have to elect someone or vote someone or say, wow, somebody please be our spokesperson or stand forward on our behalf, or, you know, just be the leader. You know, like you may have in a football thing, somebody leading, saying, I'm the captain for this game, and, you know, I'll, tell others if they're not playing up to form, that kind of thing. So I know there are other forms of leadership which work just as well. So I'm not saying that, what I'm talking about is just for one particular person. But I feel all in all that we have to be able to always consider the thoughts of others. That's the sort of person I like to be. So easy to just steamroll your way as a leader. Yeah, everything I say, is going to work, everything I say, and you're not incorporating others into that process. And yeah, I think this is a powerful quote about leadership, because it's something we all have to do at some point in our lives. And you think as a leader, all the decisions have to come through you or be made by you. Everything that you're doing as a leader must be your own thought, and otherwise you're not a leader. If you are encompassing the thoughts and wishes of others, then hey, I'm not really leading, am I? Not at all. I think leadership should be defined by you as an individual, and you can define it in your own way. And if you are able to take consideration in that leadership process, then I think you will be a better leader. And it doesn't matter whether it's leadership in terms of your work, leadership in terms of even sometimes in a relationship. Sometimes you have to kind of wear the pants, as they say, or be the main person dealing with a lot of things in the relationship. Sometimes you may have to kind of handle all the bills that come in, and all these little leadership things. But overall, you kind of emerge as a leader, family, as an individual in your home, or at the workplace, or as part of a team, or if you're a coach, or so many aspects that leadership has to come in, or we are as individuals find ourselves in a position where no matter what, we have to lead. And I think an important aspect to leadership is kind of accommodating others and listening to what they want to say, and allowing their thoughts and wishes to be accommodated into your thought processes, and whatever it is you feel you want to do or achieve, part of that makes the journey as a leader better. And I think it helps you as a person evolve more, and those that you are leading learn to trust you, learn to support you, learn to believe in you far more than they would otherwise have done so, because they know that, yeah, you're a leader, but you listen. You're a leader, but, they can speak up and put their views and points across, not in a way that you'll beat them down for it, but in a way that you'll say, that's interesting, thanks for sharing it with me. And it's something that you can work towards accommodating and incorporating in that leadership goal. But whatever it is today that you feel you need a little bit of support on, I hope that in terms of leadership, I know it's not kind of, one of those subjects out there, say like anxiety or, feeling low, that kind of thing. But I chose this passage because I felt that it's something we're kind of all forced to do at one point in our lives, whether we like it or not. So, isn't it a powerful thing to kind of remind ourselves that, number one, you must always try to have the courage to lead. You must always try to have the courage to put yourself forward, even if you feel you're not good enough, or you feel that, I don't think I want to be a leader, or I can't be a leader. That's, you know, something that obviously we will all have to decide and make a decision on. But, you know, have the courage to lead if the opportunity arises for you to do so, because that is a powerful aspect to your growth. It's a powerful aspect to your life's evolution, and a powerful aspect to those around you, feeling that they can trust you, feeling that they can follow your leadership. And it's the type of leadership that, you know, is not one that they will think, hey, I'm going to be left out, never one's going to listen to me. And, you know, you want, if you're going to be a leader, you want people to look up to you, to value, to appreciate your leadership, to stand behind you, to support you in what you're doing. So by giving yourself the opportunity to step into that role, it's always a positive thing for you, and also for others if you are willing to give them a chance in adding value to what you're doing, you know. And this is, I don't know, you know, like at the end of the day, I don't know if I could consider myself a leader, but I feel that if I'm sharing my work, I have to kind of step up and kind of lead myself, at least, on this path, on this journey. So you might be in a situation similar to me where you have to kind of step up and be a leader in your own way, in whatever small way that you're evolving to lead. Like, you know, I'm saying I had to do it kind of for myself in my own way. And you might feel, gosh, I need to make some choices and decisions where I kind of have to lead myself ahead on whatever journey or path. But even in that case, like even in, say, my case, or even in your case, if you're kind of saying, wow, I've made some choices and decisions and I have to take the lead on those choices and decisions, even if you're doing it, like you're kind of not leading others, but you're leading yourself forward in any way, shape or form, which I kind of feel I've had to do. Even in that sense, remember that your journey is one that should also accommodate others. And that's a really, really powerful thing to say. And I know I talk about this patronage thing often, but I tell you what, one of the things that I realized about it is you don't have to journey on your own. You know, that regardless of what your aims and objectives, you must be willing to accommodate others to be a part of what journey or what direction you choose to take. And you know, this leadership thing, I don't know, I never thought of this before, but as we're talking about leadership, I thought I'd just mention it because it makes me realize that I had to take the lead on turning a corner in the way I view things, in the way I view, you know, my work and my objectives in that work. And I had to take the lead to say, if this work is going to help people, and if I am going to, throughout my lifetime, be able to say, I got all this written material, but, you know, I've left it unread, or, you know, I'm not sharing it, then I had to kind of take the lead and say, if I'm not doing that, then what is this all about? I had to take the lead and say, I'm going to do this. And what am I willing to do in terms of stepping out of my comfort zone and leading myself in a new direction? What am I willing to do? If I'm willing to also lead in my own way, but also incorporate others, then I have to be willing to open myself up and say, you know what, it would also be great to have the support of others. And that's why I kind of thought, this Patreon thing, I think it's actually going to do me and what I do a lot of good in terms of encompassing the thoughts and wishes of others, so that I can support even more people through my work. So, it's funny how, talking about leadership kind of led me to that. But, you may be experiencing a very similar thing where you've had to kind of lead yourself in a particular direction. You may not have people as a leader. Normally you have people that you lead, but you can also lead yourself. I think that's kind of what I kind of realized towards the end of this as I'm wrapping up. You can also lead yourself in a new direction. And, as you journey in that new direction, even if it's on your own, always journey encompassing others, always journey with a view to sharing with others your journey. And that's kind of why, I guess, the patron thing, I've kind of had to kind of realize that I can share this journey. I don't have to do it alone. I don't have to say, wow, this is my journey, so if it's my journey and I want to achieve this, I kind of have to do it all on my own. No, I've just expanded the parameters by saying it's my journey. I've had to lead myself in a new direction, but I can do it with the support of others. And as I go along, I can also support others too, like you watching the video. And at the end of the day, my whole process of the videos is to engage and support you guys out there through my work, and sharing what I can to make your day a better day, or to make this moment a better moment, even if we're talking about subjects as as different as from joy to leadership to I always find that little unique connection with the passages I'm reading, that I can relate to myself or my own life, and then help relate it maybe to you, because you may not have viewed or thought of things in that way. But ultimately, when I started off today, I thought, yeah, leadership, leading others and working with others, and then toward the end of it, I thought, you know what, it also means sometimes you have to lead yourself in a new direction. You have to lead yourself in a way that no one else can lead you in that way. Only you can. And it makes me understand that type of leadership also involves others as well. Even if it's your own journey, your own path, your own mission, it also involves others. And it involves others in a way that you don't feel everything is on your shoulders. I must do everything. I'm the one who must do and achieve. And, this to me is important in kind of realizing that, wow, there are other people out there that kind of want to support others. Okay, I'm doing it through my work, but some people, you may be watching this and say, you know what, I want to support her. It's like a merry-go-round, isn't it? It's like we can all sort of come together in various different ways. As I said, through what I'm doing, I'm thinking I want to get my material out there, support people, but some people might say, hey, let's support her, or let's kind of be a part of her journey. And wow, that's always amazing. But yes, I don't know, I really am enjoying this series. I know this is a really long one because I broke it up in 2 parts, but yeah, I don't know, I'm blown away every time. I think to myself, should I have done this? Every day that passes, I realise more and more that yes, I should have done it. Yeah, I should have done it earlier, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but it doesn't matter. Better late than never, hey? And you know, that's what I'm going to have to take from this. But yes, so be a leader today, regardless of which form your leadership is going to take. Be willing to encompass and take into consideration the thoughts and wishes of others, and that stands for you becoming a great leader, even if you are leading your own charge in your own way. Well, thank you so much for bearing with me and being here on the whole journey, in terms of listening to this, either this audio or watching this video all the way through. I'm thankful and so grateful for that. As I like to end off is just to remind you to like, share, subscribe. If you feel this would help anyone you know and love, do make sure that you share it with them, and hopefully we'll keep building on this and keep building on this little kind of inspirational powerhouse that we're becoming in terms of you know, being a part of what I'm doing. I really, really love it, and I love you being with me on this journey. I don't want to go it alone. I've had enough of that, and I just felt that this was the right thing. So let me know if you agree, if you feel, yeah, go for it, Alicia, you're doing the right thing and you like my material. Let me know if you have any other ideas and things that you'd like me to talk about. You know, it'd be a pleasure to do so, because, you know, this is really for you. I'm growing and evolving with each episode, so I feel really good about it, and I hope above all that you feel you're growing with each episode. And, you know, thanks for being with me. And yeah, have a super day. Enjoy your day, make the most of your day. And if you have to step up and be a leader, don't be afraid to do so. Think about what I've said, and, you know, have the courage and the power to believe in yourself, to make things happen in your own way. So I love and leave you for now. Love and hugs. Have a super day, and look forward to seeing you soon on the next one. Take care. Bye.